Alright guys, let's talk about it. What do you do when the people you paid millions to defend your freedom end up being the ones who break your trust? How do you keep fighting when the empire you built starts collapsing, not because of the charges, but because of the cost of defending it? What are liquid assets? Simply put, it's the cash you can actually use. And right now, that's exactly what Diddy's running out of. He needs money to pay his lawyers, support his kids, and keep his entire circle, from Miami to the household staff, afloat. In court, Diddy claimed he supports 5, maybe 11 children. A joke that reveals a harsh truth. A lot of people depend on his income. From his youngest, Love, to older children like Justin and Christian, Diddy's obligations aren't just emotional, they're financial. Every household, every car, every lifestyle depends on his ability to keep the money flowing. During the bail hearings, documents showed he only had about $50 million in liquid assets available. And yes, that sounds like a fortune, but when your life costs millions to maintain, that fortune drains fast. Out of that $50 million, about $20 million has already been burned through legal fees. The bigger problem, his cash inflow is gone. Reports are circulating that Sean Diddy Combs is absolutely furious with his legal team. Sources claim he's not just upset about his prison sentence, he's devastated over the money he's lost trying to fight it. Apparently, Diddy's frustration isn't about serving time, it's about how fast his fortune is slipping away. The same fortune he once flaunted is now tangled in legal fees, retainers, and promises that never came true. Word on the street is that Diddy's appeal plan, the one he thought would get him home sooner, has hit a serious wall. Insiders allege that he's been reaching out to a few of his powerful friends, quietly asking for help to cover the financial strain. The irony? These are the same friends who kept their distance when the cameras were rolling in court. Some are whispering that Diddy has been asking for anything between $50,000 to even $5 million in temporary support to keep his legal strategy alive. Now, let's unpack how things got this messy. Remember when Diddy's team tried to claim he had a speaking appearance instead of a speaking engagement? They wanted to paint it as something harmless, a misunderstanding. But court documents suggest otherwise. He had multiple appearances scheduled around that time, including one just days after his sentencing. To the judge, that looked careless and arrogant, almost like Diddy thought he was untouchable. According to several reports, that's when the tension between Diddy and his lawyers exploded. Allegedly, they had promised him that he'd walk free or at least get time served. But somewhere between expectation and reality, that promise fell apart. Now, to be fair, no top-tier lawyer would guarantee freedom in a federal case like his. Still, it seems Diddy took their confidence as a certainty, and that misunderstanding cost him millions. Let's put those numbers into perspective. Sources estimate Diddy has spent between $10 and $20 million on legal fees alone. Each major lawyer required at least a $1 million retainer, and that's before billable hours even started. With around 7 attorneys, paralegals, and now a new appellate team of 3 more. That number skyrockets fast. By conservative estimates, he's already out over $10 million, possibly much more. And the worst part, he's still not done paying. Every appeal, every motion, every consultation burns through more money. And at this rate, it's not clear how long Diddy can sustain it. He could have faced RICO charges, which would have been far worse, so you'd think he'd be grateful for only getting 3 or 4 years. But gratitude isn't exactly Diddy's strong suit. Those who were in the courtroom say he got emotional during sentencing, telling Judge Subramanian he'd accept any punishment just to see his kids again. The judge, showing a rare hint of leniency, reportedly cut him a lighter deal. But Diddy, as always, expected more. Because when you spent a lifetime believing you're untouchable, even mercy feels like betrayal. Diddy's legal team didn't just lose the case, they lost their composure. The moment the sentence was announced, they reportedly stormed out of court, calling the whole thing a travesty. Some even joked that the judge must have been the 13th juror, implying that luck was the only reason Diddy didn't get more time. But let's be real, luck can't save him from what comes next. Sources say Diddy is furious and shocked. After receiving a 50-month sentence and 5 years of supervised probation, he allegedly told his lawyers this wasn't what he paid for. And here's the ironic part, that probation might end up being worse than the prison term itself. The federal government doesn't forget, and they definitely don't forgive. Those close to Diddy claim he's anxious about how he'll survive under such strict supervision. He's long been surrounded by temptation, parties, escorts, the luxury lifestyle, and now all of that is officially off limits. For the next 5 years, even one wrong move could send him straight back behind bars. Any slip, any reckless night, any bad decision could trigger a violation. Insiders also whisper that Diddy's lifestyle habits may come back to haunt him. He's been known to chase excess, money, attention, indulgence, and those compulsions don't disappear overnight. People who've worked with him describe him as a man who always needs control, validation, and movement. Prison takes all that away, and once he's out, the world waiting for him won't be the one he left. The industry power players he once stood beside, the politicians, the billionaires, the corporate circles, are gone. The people publicly defending him now are mostly the ones he never wanted near his brand when things were good. That realization, insiders say, is what's breaking him the most. Reports suggest Diddy truly believed he'd walk out with time served. His lawyers had given him confidence, maybe too much of it. He even booked a speaking appearance for the week after sentencing, convinced he'd be free. But when reality hit, it hit hard. Those same lawyers who once assured him of a deal are now trying to justify the outcome, while Diddy sits in disbelief, realizing that money can buy strategy, but not mercy. As for the probation, it's not just a condition, it's a trap. Federal supervision means constant monitoring, drug tests, surprise checks, and limits on his movements and communications. 5 years of that could break anyone, especially someone used to private jets and endless freedom. Maybe in some distant world, this will humble him. Maybe time alone will force him to reflect on the life he built and the damage he caused. But those who know Diddy say humility has never been his strong suit, and if history repeats itself, the next few years won't be about redemption. They'll be about survival. From what people inside the courtroom are saying, the situation was even worse than the headlines suggest. Diddy didn't just have one speaking appearance lined up, he was preparing for a full comeback tour. There were whispers about a documentary deal, a possible book, even a feature film about his life and redemption story. He wanted to transform his narrative from scandal to survival. But that comeback, it's over before it even began. Every plan he had, from live shows to brand partnership, is now frozen. The Diddy comeback tour that was quietly being arranged is gone, and so are the business deals that were supposed to revive his image. His entire post-sentencing strategy has fallen apart. Sources claim Diddy was overly confident before his sentencing. He genuinely believed he'd walk out with time served and start rebuilding his empire right away. He had meetings scheduled, a rumored tour mapped out, and even early-stage talks for a biopic-style film about his career. Now, all of that's dust, and it's not just about reputation anymore, it's about survival. Diddy is reportedly terrified of running out of money. The civil cases are piling up, nearly 70 of them according to insiders, and the legal costs are astronomical. His main criminal case alone is estimated to have drained between $15 and $20 million in legal fees. That's before appeals, before settlements, before anything else. One source describes him as haunted by the fear of coming out of prison broke. And honestly, it's easy to see why. During his bail hearings, court filings revealed just how thin his liquid assets really were. Yes, he owns luxury properties, a $30 million home in California, another in Star Island, but both are heavily mortgaged. And here's the thing about assets, they look great on paper, but they bleed money in real life. 2 mansions mean 2 sets of taxes, maintenance costs, and endless upkeep. The private jet he used to flex on social media, reportedly rented out now just to cover expenses. The cars, the art, the investments, they're all liabilities when the cash stops flowing. People close to Diddy say this financial spiral has him on edge. He's allegedly calling in favors, reaching out to old industry friends who once depended on him for opportunities. But now, those calls aren't being returned. The silence is loud. What's even more brutal is that Diddy's entire identity has always been built on control, power, and opulence. Now, every part of that is slipping away, and he can't buy his way out this time. Behind the luxury, behind the headlines, there's a man staring down reality. And for the first time, that reality doesn't answer to him. Reports say Miami has been standing by him, even going live on social media from time to time, joking with fans and taking calls from people behind bars. Some say she's holding it down for Diddy, but critics are asking a different question. If she has that much energy to support him, why not focus on her own career? Still, let's be real, her loyalty isn't the issue. Diddy's finances are. The luxury liquor partnership, gone. His branding deals, suspended. Revolt TV, the company he once founded, distanced itself from him entirely. Every income source that once built his empire has either frozen or cut ties. So, what's left? $50 million to cover everything. Lawyers, family, staff, appeals, and a reputation that's in free fall. And that brings us to the real question. Will that appeal even happen? Legal experts say a federal appeal can take 2 years, sometimes longer, to even reach the courtroom. But by that time, Diddy might already be finishing his sentence. Between time served and potential reductions for good behavior, insiders estimate he might serve anywhere between 20 and 30 months total, roughly 2 years. That's just about the same time it would take for his appeal to even be heard. Which raises the uncomfortable truth. Why spend millions fighting for an appeal that might conclude after he's already done his time? Those around him say that's exactly the dilemma he's facing. Spend what's left on lawyers, or save what little he has for the world waiting outside those prison gates. And knowing Diddy, that world won't wait forever. People online are joking that maybe Diddy's found a new calling, doing the Lord's work behind bars. Some say if he really wants to reinvent himself, all he needs is a wig and a fresh start. But jokes aside, the situation he's in is no laughing matter. The judge made it clear. Diddy's request to be transferred to Fort Dix was denied. Instead, he'll remain in a New York area facility. For Diddy, that's a huge blow. Fort Dix is known to be safer and more comfortable than most federal prisons, often housing white-collar offenders and high-profile inmates. Sources say Diddy wanted to be there not just for convenience, but for protection. He doesn't want to deal with the chaos, the threats, or the possibility of being extorted. But after his legal team's courtroom outbursts, that wish might have been doomed from the start. Instead of showing restraint and filing an appeal quietly, Diddy's lawyers publicly lashed out at the judge. That decision, according to legal insiders, might have backfired spectacularly. Judges have full discretion when it comes to inmate placement within federal facilities, and antagonizing the court rarely ends well. It's easy to see why tensions boiled over, though. Reports estimate that Diddy's lawyers have already taken around $20 million from him, and after all that, he still ended up serving time. Some of those close to the case believe that frustration, embarrassment, and guilt led to that courthouse explosion. Still, professionalism went out the window that day, and now Diddy's paying the price for it. Insiders say the energy around Diddy's camp has shifted completely. The same lawyers who once stood by him are now keeping their distance. One observer even joked that they probably changed his contact name from client to cash flow, because that's what Diddy has been for years, a walking bank account. But now, even that account is running dry. Every headline, every leak, every courtroom update paints the same picture. The empire is collapsing, and the people who once ate from his hand are now looking for their next meal ticket elsewhere. For Diddy, the message is clear. The money bought loyalty, but it can't buy silence, safety, or salvation. Now, he's not just fighting for appeal or reputation, he's fighting to survive a system that no longer bends for him. At this point, every number matters. Every dollar counts. After legal fees, taxes, and expenses, Diddy's fortune isn't what it used to be. That rumored $50 million in liquid assets, it's almost gone. Let's break it down. Out of that $50 million, nearly $20 million went straight to legal fees. Now, when you're found guilty of criminal charges, you can't even write those legal costs off on your taxes. Add mortgage payments on multiple mansions, tuition for his kids, private jet upkeep, and personal payroll. Suddenly, that rich lifestyle turns into a monthly debt cycle. Experts estimate that after everything, Diddy might have somewhere between $15 and $20 million left in actual usable cash. Sounds like a lot, right? But not when there's no new income coming in, and you're staring at 5 years of probation where you can't travel, tour, or perform. So the question becomes, what's next? Does he risk spending another $5 to $8 million on an appeal that could take 2 years to be heard? all for the chance of getting out maybe 5 months early? Most appeals drag on, and by the time they're decided, the sentence is nearly over anyway. That's the dilemma Diddy's facing right now. Gamble what's left of his fortune for a symbolic legal victory, or accept his fate, serve his time, and hold on to whatever money he still has. Some insiders claim Diddy's team is quietly debating this behind closed doors. They know that filing an appeal would look good publicly, as if he's still fighting back, but financially it might drain the last of his resources. With most of his businesses frozen and every dollar accounted for, there's no guarantee he could even afford to finish an appeal once it starts. Meanwhile, his day-to-day reality is a far cry from the luxury he once flaunted. The Miami mansion payments still come in, the plane's bills keep piling up, and with his assets being scrutinized, there's no easy way to sell off property or move money without catching government attention. Some say Diddy's been telling those around him that he's trying to stay positive, calling his time in MDC a reset. Allegedly, he's been mentoring other inmates, talking about changing lives and ending violence through unity. Whether that's genuine growth or damage control, no one can say for sure. But one thing's clear. For a man who once built an empire on confidence and excess, facing the reality of limits might be his toughest sentence yet. All right, that's all for now, but you already know I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.